Anyways, hey guys, welcome back to another Are We Nerds podcast episode with me, Emily, one of your hosts, and our official co-host, Dana's back. Welcome back, Dana.
Dana.
Oh, okay. She's back.
Ooh.
The reason why she's on this episode is because I was like, I feel like she
Emily couldn't make it.
Like, crazy things happened. I'll explain in a second. But I did tell Emily, like, I was like, I feel like we need to have Dana on this episode because I feel like she understands some things about Jujutsu Kaisen that are, like, confusing to us, and maybe she could explain it better for us and for the people. So, that's why I invited you. But also because we both love the series. We're both reading the manga. We've been keeping up with season 2. Yeah. But it's just meant to be. You're just meant to be on this episode because life is easier with you here. So I'm excited.
Oh. That might be the nicest thing you've said to me in a long time.
Ooh. Ew.
Dang.
I take that back.
So last episode it was Emily being nice to you, and now this episode it's you being nice to me. What's going on? Is there something in the water?
No, we're just spreading the love. Oh yeah, okay, so basically this episode, let me tell you guys what this is about. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, we're having cafe chisme session.
Hot drink.
I have iced coffee, but look at my cat mug.
This is regular hot coffee, but look at this mug that I thrifted. I'm in the DMV area, for those of you who don't know, and I thrifted this Atlanta mug from the 90s.
Did you pause because you said Atlanta?
As soon as I saw it. Yes, I did, and I was ashamed. And so I had to correct myself, and I said Atlanta.
Ew.
Anyway, as soon as I saw this in the thrift store, I was like, you're coming home with me.
Give it to me now! Give it to me now.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyways. So grab your coffee. We're having cafe chisme session about Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. So, basically, we're going to be discussing our thoughts on Hidden Inventory Arc. So, the first 5 episodes of Season 2. And then what entails for Shibuya Incident Arc. Are we excited to talk about it? I wouldn't say excited.
No.
We're both manga readers, so, like, we know what's going to happen, and all I gotta say is that I feel sorry for anime only.
Yeah, excited is not the word that I would use to describe how I feel. Am I looking forward to seeing it animated? Yes. Am I excited about it? Absolutely not.
No. Will I be going feral every week? Every Thursday? Yes.
Yes.
Will I be crying on the couch every Thursday? I don't know yet.
Maybe.
But yeah, it's gonna get crazy, guys. But
am I gonna be really emo about it?
Yes. Because we were already emo over Hidden Inventory, and why don't we just get into that? The first episode.
Yeah, let's get into it.
The first episode, it was really, like introduction kind of again. You're getting Gojo and Geto and Shoko in high school. They look so cute in their outfits. It starts off with like Utahime and Mei, and they're on their little mission in that mansion that was giving Chainsaw Man vibes. It was, I don't know why. To me, that was kind of like weird intro or like weird beginning stuff. Because I don't remember that in the manga. But then again, like,
I don't think it was in the manga.
I don't know. That's why I was like, I haven't like really looked back to see if it was in the manga, but even if it was, and I just didn't remember, that would be due to me probably having read that chapter in like 2018, 2017. It felt weird.
If it did, I agree. It felt really out of place. But I think it was not only because we haven't seen people actually go on a mission, I think, since season 1. Like, Well, that's not true. In Volume 0, they went on a mission, right? But it ended up being, like, kind of a big deal. We haven't seen people go on a mission and have it not be a big deal since season 1 when Itadori and Nobara go on that first mission. And he's like, how do you know the girls don't like me? Bitch.
That's like one reason why I like the dub. That was pretty spicy.
Yeah. I agree that it felt a little out of place. And I think it not only was because of the mission thing, but because you were introducing, or rather reintroducing from a different perspective, a lot of these characters who we haven't thought about since season 1.
Right. But then Gojo showed up, and he was just like, are you crying? And I was just like, oh, that's so Gojo. Like, he's so playful and goofy and, like, arrogant, but, like, because he knows he's strong, duh. And then seeing his dynamic with Geto and how they're just, like, playful banter back and forth, just, like, I would say, like, the best friend, like, sibling dynamic where you're just, like, kind of, like, at each other's throat, but that's because you guys, like, love each other. So that was fun to see. But what else happened in that episode? Well, I guess they get the mission, right? They're just like, Star Plasma Vessel, you need to guard her, Rico. And that's kind of like it, right?
I think so. I think that episode was really just about establishing the dynamic between everyone. They're all pretty amiable towards one another, and we kind of see the age range between everyone. So you have Geto and Gojo and Shoko, who are all, I think, second years at this point, and then Mei and Utahime have graduated. So Utahime, for reference, is 20 in hidden inventory, and Gojo and Satoru Gojo, that's his name. Gojo and Geto are 16, 17, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that first episode was really just about, establishing the dynamic and the relationships between everyone. And you see that Geto and Gojo are very, very close. Closer than others. Oh, that's the episode. That first episode was the basketball scene, and Shoko's like trying on the glasses and like,
and then she runs away.
So it was really just to showcase everyone's personalities. And then the second episode is when things to get interesting, and you get the mission of escorting Amanai Rico, and then you get like the cool fight scenes where they're fighting all of the extra like cursed users from the religious group.
Geto's on the phone and he's just like, something's suspicious, and then the hotel room gets blown up. He's falling out of the sky. It's just, things are happening. Rico's like, because she's like passed out or something. And then the star really just
she like
cold.
faints.
It was just cute. I liked when she like woke up and she was just like, who are you? Are you here to kidnap me? Don't touch me. And then Gojo's like, shut up. And then like Geto's just on the couch with like tea, just hanging out. And he's just like, hey Gojo. And then, their whole like little dynamic thing, and Rico's like, what?
Yeah.
I like that. That was cute.
Yeah.
But then shit gets down in episode 3. That's the one where like we're hitting the climax now of hidden inventory. Like shit's hitting the fan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. So not only is Toji like being introduced throughout like these first couple of episodes, but we really see him in action. And it was like a total 180, I guess, for people that haven't like met Toji and like know his character. Because at the beginning stuff, we're just seeing him like gamble, and like he's with his, I don't know, remember the other dude's name, but the guy in the suit,
the cigarette guy.
Yeah, cigarette guy. He would just be like, basically, Toji, you're kind of a lowlife. Like, what are you gonna do, man? And Toji's like, I don't know. I'm just here eating noodles and boat gambling, whatever, boat racing and horses. And then next thing you know, he's up here carving Gojo out of nowhere.
Like a Thanksgiving turkey. Yeah, so for me, seeing stuff in the manga, like reading action scenes is hard. Like, visualize, even though it's on the paper for me to visualize, I can read, like, novel action scenes way better and process that than, like, reading it in the picture on the page. Like, I don't know why. So, seeing Gojo get carved up like that, I was like, wait, how? Obviously, you know that he survives, but you're like, damn, how are we going to come back from this?
Like,
and even, like, watching it with Uncle, and I want to know if Dad reacted to this as well. Watching it with Uncle, he was just like, damn.
No, it's so frustrating because I love, like...
It's so underwhelming.
It's so underwhelming. I love introducing people to, like, anime that I've seen or, like, manga that I've read, and I just know shit gets crazy, and there's lots of good action scenes or, like, very emotional scenes, so I love seeing people react to it. Like, me introducing you to Attack on Titan, I'm like, she has no idea where this story is about to go.
That was wild.
Or, like, any other anime, I'm just like, Naruto, I'm like, she has no idea where this is gonna go emotionally. And so, like, I'm introducing Dad to all these, like, new anime things or, like, whatnot, and, like, I'm sitting there and I'm freaking out over stuff, and he's just like... And then he'll be like, later on, he'll be like, that was a good episode. And the only like really crazy reaction thing I got out of him wasn't even after like an episode. It was like the next day. And this was during the Demon Slayer season 2 episode where, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but like Nezuko defeats the sun and like we thought she was gonna die. Yeah. He just like texts me the next day and he's just like, if Nezuko actually turned out like dead, I would be really mad at the people that created this. He was just like, I wouldn't watch it anymore. That's the most we've gotten out of him. So I guess I'll have to come back to you guys.
Dad's a Nezuko stan.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to come back to like everyone and be like, this is what anime Dad like thinks about Jujutsu Kaisen so far. Because like I have no idea what this man's thinking.
Yeah.
No idea.
Oh, man.
You have to like literally force that at him.
Yeah, the most that I get or that I got, since I don't live with them anymore, so we can't really watch stuff together anymore. The most that I got out of Uncle was, you know, after Gojo gets carved up and that episode ends, basically with, I think, do Gojo and Geto both get beat in the same episode? No, it's not.
So
because Geto's the next episode.
The third episode ends with Toji shooting Rico, and then he's like, Geto's like, what the fuck just happened? And then Toji's like, Geto's like, where's Gojo? And then he's like, I killed him. He's got that like creepy smirk.
He's like, oh yeah, I think I killed him.
And then
he's so dramatic.
And then Geto releases his curse stuff, and he's like, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. Okay. So after Gojo gets carved up, that episode ends, and then Tochi's like, "Oh yeah, I think I killed him," and then Geto's like, so then the episode ends. After that, Uncle just goes, "Damn,
well, you got more than me."
That was it.
Got more than me.
Yeah. And I think this is the last thing that I'll say about getting other people to watch it, especially, it seems, parental male figures to watch anime. They, I don't think about it as deeply as we do.
No.
We're overthinkers in general, and we like to overthink about anime as well. And they, I think, are just surface level processing it. They're not, like, deep analyzing what they're watching.
They're just watching.
And so they just see the raw action and they're like, dang.
The only thing I got out of Dad
So.
during this episode was, when they're at the aquarium and stuff, because, they're at the beach after, everyone's been kidnapped and saved, and they're just waiting for the bounty to dwindle down. Well, there's, like, piano music happening during the whole aquarium scene and whatnot, and the dad, he's like, pause the show. Because I'm like, oh, maybe he has a question about, like, something. He goes,
Oh, yeah.
I think Pride and Prejudice is my favorite movie. And Mom and I are on the couch like, what the hell are you talking about? This has nothing to do with what we're doing in this moment. He's like, well, the piano sounds like, that scene in Pride and Prejudice. And it just had me thinking about, like, how complex the, like, cinematography is and how wonderful the characters are and, like, the script. And then, like, everything about it is just so good. And then he goes, and also, I don't think the universe is alive. What the fuck? Like, and Mom and I are just like, and then Mom goes,
Bro.
see, this is what I have to deal with when all three of you talking about us and Dad are together, because we all have ADHD.
Next episode, Geto versus Toji.
He looks so good.
He did.
Not Toji. Geto did. And everyone knows about the scenes that we're talking about. No, what was funny about Toji, though, is that he's getting, like, dragged by the dragon curse thing. And all you just see pop up is, bam, bam, bam. I was just like, where he shooting? Where is he shooting? But it was just funny because it was, like, the gun. Yeah. It just reminded me of JoJo's. The book and the gun. We're just...
Yeah, I did think it was super cool when he killed that dragon curse. Like, when he just rides down the dragon with his knife, like, or with his short sword. Like, bro, that was so cool. That was so cool.
Go so hard.
And I really like watching Geto fully, like, use his whole like, menagerie of cursed spirit power. Because what Geto's power is, if you don't know, is that he has the ability to absorb cursed spirits, right? And then he can basically call upon whatever cursed spirit he absorbs and use their power. So that's what he was doing. And we get to see that on full display in episode 4, which was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
One other scene in the very beginning of this episode is that we get to watch from his perspective again the death of Rico, and we get to see, like, a little bit more of an in-depth reaction from him. So, like, at first he does not register that she has been shot and she's been killed.
That was crazy.
Because she at that point had said, like, yes, I'll go with you, I don't want to die yet. Reached out her hand, he was going to grab it, and then boom, dead. And you see him kind of go from, like, shock to kind of rage.
Yeah.
And then Toji comes in, and you get to kind of get even more angry as he realizes that Gojo is dead.
Yeah. And then a day or so passes, and Rico's body's taken to the cult people. Mission's done. Toji's like, I'm gonna fuck off now. He's outside whatever cult building. And then, Gojo comes up, has a Jesus moment. He's like, I've resurrected. Because you know why? I've learned reverse curse technique. I moved wherever when you stabbed me in the head. And you didn't hit my brain or whatnot. He's just some weird shit like that.
He's like, you should have just chopped my head off.
Like, manic.
Yeah.
Moment. And he just looks crazy. And then Toji's like,
literally,
are you high? And I was just like, is he high? He's high off of life because he's living now, bro.
Yeah.
Gojo has learned how to do all his technique stuff. He's out here. Blue, red, combined, purple. He's killing it. And you know who he's killing? Toji. He killed Toji.
Yeah.
That was really sad to see. A lot of people said it was underwhelming, the whole, like, heavenly thing where he's like, I alone and the honored one. I kind of wish it was a little more, like, I Loam in the honor one. But all the other voice acting to me, where he's just like, where it's like, so good, like, or whatever he says, I'm just like, yeah.
When he's like having his manic episode, that whole, like, he's like, I get it, like, he's having his Danny DeVito moment, and I loved it. So that's why, like, going from that to the enlightenment scene where he's like, throughout heaven and earth I alone am honored, like, that for me was underwhelming. Do I have an articulate description of what I would have wanted it to look like? No. But it just wasn't that. Like, I don't know. It was fine the way that it was, but
that's just like me with Toji's voice actor. Like, that's not what I thought he would sound like. I didn't think he'd be Dio. But, like, now that I'm hearing him as Dio, I'm like, okay, I gotta deal with it.
Yeah. Same thing. It's like, I don't know who I would have wanted to voice him. I don't think it would have been Dio. Dio would not have my choice.
Every episode, JoJo's. But then we start really getting emo at the end scene. So this is like the end credit scene. Is where, you know, I can't remember if this was at the end scene or like this was at the end of the episode, but you know, Toji's worm is like inching closer to Geto, and it's like, yeah, Mommy, and then Geto's like, Mama, what the fuck? And so then, end credit scene, he's like running somewhere. He runs into the facility. Cold people are clapping. Gojo there with Rico's body wrapped up, and he's just like, basically, Gojo's still kind of out of it, and he's just like, Suguru, should we kill all these guys? The way I feel right now, I doubt I feel anything about it.
At that point, so Gojo in the beginning of Gojo and Geto in the first episode, they have this ideological, not really a debate, they're just bickering, I guess. And Gojo is picking on Utahime. Geto's like, hey, Gojo, like, don't pick on the weak. Like, that's wrong. And Geto's like, you're an idiot. Like, why would I pick on somebody who's strong? Like, that's stupid. And that where Gojo's like, you should pick on the weak because that's easy. And Geto's like, well, no, like, the weak have to be protected. And that's, like, his whole philosophy as a sorcerer. You have to protect non-sorcerers because they can't protect themselves. And then here, in this moment, retrieving Riko's body, Gojo at that point, and when he was referring to weak and strong, he's talking about sorcerers. I don't think Gojo ever thought about non-sorcerers. So when he's referring to strong and weak, he's talking about Jujutsu sorcerers. And now, I don't think he would have killed any non-sorcerers before. Like, he was not that kind of person. And now when he's retrieving Riko's body, he's like, I'll kill everyone right now. I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me it's okay, I'll do it. And Geto, who at this point has been very much, you know, the weak have to be protected. That's our job. He's like, no, don't do that. But he's not really trying to convince Gojo. He's trying to convince himself. So this is where, like, his fall really starts to gain momentum. Because I think he had already kind of started to fall a little bit after he thought that Gojo was dead.
Well, Suguru answers him where he's like, no, there's no point of, like, killing these people. He's like, they're not the ones that, like, made this happen. You know, putting the bounty on Riko. He's, like, basically saying it was, like, the higher-ups and, like, it'll be dealt with eventually or something like that. And then Gojo's like, does there really need to be any point to this? Does there need to be any point? And then, you know, it's kind of just... There's a year-long spiral of Geto just, like, literally dwindling down emotionally and physically, where he's just, like, having a whole, like, identity crisis. Which leads us to the final episode of Hidden Inventory, which is episode 5. This takes place a year later. Gojo is polishing off his curse technique stuff. He's basically kind of invincible at this point. And he's doing his own thing. He's no longer really with Geto. Like, everyone kind of parted their own ways. You know, Gojo's on his own missions. It's not really good that Geto's alone on his own stuff, because that just lets him, like, think dark thoughts more. um, it's just really sad to see, because you can see it physically, like, or animated. You can see how much this is affecting Geto with, like, the dark under eyes, just how he's, like, standing there on the train where he's just like, what am I doing? Who am I?
Yeah. I think, though, that a brief explanation of Gojo's developed power is worth diving into a little bit, because up until this point, or really before Gojo's fight with Toji, he hadn't even really been able to really fully use red. And I don't remember if red is push or pull, but he hadn't been able to fully use, like, one aspect of his power until he's dead, basically, and he kind of becomes enlightened, unlocks everything. So at this, Gojo can infinitely push, he can infinitely pull, and he can infinitely do both at the same time, which is like hydrogen bomb level obliteration.
It's like void, right?
Any matter in between.
Something void.
It's called void, yeah.
Yeah.
Infinite void.
Yeah.
And though up until that point he hadn't really been able to, I guess it was very, like, it was on or off, period. So when he was in Okinawa on the beach, he was using his curse technique. He was fully having to, like, use all of his brain power to do that all the time, and it was degenerative, right? So now in this final episode, he's learned how to automate it, and he has taught himself how to distinguish threat level of different objects. See, the eraser hit him, but the pencil doesn't. So it's fully automated now, but he's also using reverse curse to heal his brain from keeping this automated technique going on. So that didn't click for me until I had seen that episode and he was explaining what that was. That was really interesting.
There was a lot of, like, new information that we got in this episode pertaining to Gojo, but stuff that really, because I had just, like, went back and, like, kind of watched scenes from this episode that really, like, stuck to me was when first the shower scene. That's just, like, really sad just to see him, like, having a freak out moment, I guess, like, all in his head. And how the water's, you know, falling, you hear the water sound, and then it just turns into the clapping from the cult people, and then it just, like, kind of, like, silent, and he's just like, they're all monkeys. It's just, like, that was when it kind of, like, that was one nail in the coffin this episode.
Yeah.
But then, like, after the shower scene, you know, he's out there and he runs into Hybara, and, you know, they're having a whole conversation about, like, Geto's like, do you like being a sorcerer? Like, is this the right thing for you? And Hybara's like, yeah, it is. Like, you know, I like doing something that, like, I'm good at, you know, that type of thing. But then Yuki comes and she's just like, what type of girls do you like? And Hybara's like, I like girls that can eat a lot. And then Geto's kind of, like, scolding him for, like, talking to her because he's like, this is someone random. We don't know who she is. And then Hybara answers, like, no, it's okay. Like, I'm a good judge of character. Like, I know that she's a good person. And then Geto says, you say that while sitting next to me? And then later on, you know what sucks more is that they had that whole nice conversation, and Hybara's like, you know, you're a good person. And then he fucking dies.
Yeah.
And Geto has to, like, console Nanami in a way where Nanami's like, it was supposed to be an easy mission. They told us it was this grade curse or whatnot. This was supposed to be easy. And so now he's just, like, Geto's having to deal with, you know, people important around him dying again and all that type of stuff. Ugh. Oh, yeah. Conversation with Yuki. Okay, that is very important. So, obviously we've seen her a bit in season 1. She's, like, Todo's mentor.
At the very end, I think.
She's, like, one of Todo's mentors or something like that. But, basically, they're talking about their goals, I guess. And sorcerer society. So she basically says that Jujutsu High only treats the symptoms. So they just eradicate curses, but they're not doing anything to get rid of the problem or the cause of curses, which we figure out curses are created by people's energy, like negative energy and stuff. Non-sorcerers. Sorcerers can't create negative energy that creates curses. So she's basically saying Jujutsu High, they treat the symptoms, but Yuki, she wants to treat the cause. So basically, the only way to do that is to create a world without curses. How do we go about that? There's 2 ways. 1, you either eliminate curse energy from mankind, or 2, you make it possible for all of humanity to control their curse energy. But she was like, number 1 is pretty difficult. I'm trying to go with number 2. And then Geto's like, then you could solve it simply by killing all non-sorcerers. Then Yuki replies with, Geto, yes, that's a possibility. That's one way you can do it. And then she talks about the whole, like, this was crazy, because this gets into, like, manga stuff, too, but she basically is just like, culling? Is that how you say it? Culling non-sorcerers. That's what you could do. And then you force them to adapt into sorcerers as a survival strategy. I don't know why that did not click with me the first time I watched it, but when I was going back and looking at this, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, it's you. You're at fault. But
yeah. Oh. It was crazy because I guess he was on his way. I think he would have come up with the idea by himself anyway. Yeah. But the fact that she says, like, yeah, I mean, you could do that. I'm not crazy enough to do that. But maybe. Like, that's one way to do it. And I don't think that she thought that he was crazy enough to do it. Because at that point, obviously, like, nobody would have thought that he would be capable of doing anything like that. Because his whole shtick was, we have to protect people who are weak. But now he's been slipping for, like, half a year. And it's, this is another brick in the wall for him.
Another nail in the coffin, which then leads him to where he's on a mission.
Another nail in the coffin.
And he's at this village, and there's these 2 girls in a cage, and he's like, what is this? And they're like, the village people are like, the girls are the cause of all the bad shit that's been happening in our village. And Geto's like, no, I already eradicated the curse that was doing everything. These girls did nothing. Mind you, they know. I think the people in the village knew that they were sorcerers. Or, like, he could tell that they were sorcerers. Either way, the people in the village locked him up. And they were saying to him that, like, he needs to get rid of them. Like, he needs to kill them. Because they're just going to keep bringing chaos and, like, destruction to their village. And he's like, you know what? You guys are the problem. And then he lights everything on fire, and he kills everyone in that village. He kills like over 150 people or something like that night. And then later on, we figure out at the KFC breakup, Gojo and Geto, when they're out on the street, Gojo like confronts him, and he's just like, what you're trying to do is crazy. Like, you're not going to be able to create a world without, like, you're not going to be able to do what you're trying to do. And he's like, and you even killed your parents? Like, why? Why would you do that? And then Geto just responds by saying, like, I can't allow my parents to be a special exception. He has created his manifesto. He is sticking to it. He's like, I'm going to create a world with all sorcerers. Non-sorcerers, gotta go. They're all monkeys. He's like, you can kill me right here, right now. I'm walking away. This is what I'm going to do. And whatever you're going to do is what you're going to do. And then we get the iconic saying, are you the strongest because you're Satoru Gojo? Or does being the strongest make you Satoru Gojo? And now, mind you, I almost failed critical thinking. So thinking about this critically, I was just like, I don't really understand. So Dana, take the floor.
Yes. So at the first, I want to talk about like how Geto thinks that non-sorcerers are monkeys, where that comes from. So he first hears the word monkeys when referring to non-sorcerers during his fight with Toji. And he's talking about, I was able to kill the strongest, Satoru Gojo, and I'm just a monkey. Like me, a monkey. And this is referring to like evolution, basically. So in Geto's mind, and in his thinking at this point, people have evolved into like what they are, right? And the next step in evolution is to become a sorcerer and be able to use your curse energy. And he thinks, by culling the population that has not evolved to use their curse energy, you're going to be, just like you said, forcing people to adapt and evolve to learn how to use their curse energy and then thus become sorcerers. And during his KFC breakup with Gojo, he says, and Gojo is like, what you're trying to do is impossible. Like, there's no way that you will ever be able to do this. And Geto says, okay, well, like, what if you try? You're the strongest. The power that you have now, you're unstoppable. If you decided that this is what you wanted to do, nobody could stop you from doing it. And suddenly the impossible becomes possible. So are you the strongest because you're Satoru Gojo, or are you Satoru Gojo because you're the strongest? Basically, are you your power, or is your power part of you? And Gojo thinks about that for like the rest of his life.
Anyway, it's so emo.
That was my takeaway of that. Like, my takeaway of that question.
What else happens? Oh my god.
It's really kind of juxtaposed from Geto's new outlook, because I think at base he's doing what he's doing to protect the sorcerer society and thus protect friends. So he's trying to do this because people he cared about have died, right? Rico died. Hanami, or whatever his name was, died. Gojo, at one point, he thought died.
Low-key died.
All because of sorcerers, right? Or non-sorcerers. Toji's not a sorcerer. He doesn't have any cursed energy. He just has a pact with a curse. That's how he has all his weapons and shit. Emo.
And that's not even the freaking end of the episode. The episode, like, there's more.
No.
Obviously, we get to see Gojo. Okay, because when Gojo killed Toji's like, just still staying there. Like a G, even though half of him's missing. He's just like, I have a son.
He just died standing.
What the fuck? Anyways, he's standing there dying, and he's like, I have a son. He's gonna be sold to, like, the Zenin clan, basically, in, like, a year or so. Like, can you basically take care of him and stop him from being sold to the Zenin clan? And Gojo's like, heck yeah, because fuck the Zenin clan. Gojo clan for lifers, like, that. Anyways, so we see him meet little Megumi. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, but, like, on TikTok or something, or Twitter, if you just look up, like, side-by-side comparisons of, like, what, like, Megumi's point of view meeting Gojo, and then, like, Gojo's point of view of meeting Megumi, it's so funny. But, the face he made when he looks at Megumi, like, when he turns around, he's just like, you look just like your daddy. Like, he's like, this is uncanny, this is weird. But I love seeing that happen.
Yeah.
Hidden Inventory, honestly, emo as fuck. And just the fact that we're so, like, every episode, like, and then we're getting into Shibuya. What the fuck? The trailer looks so good, though. Everyone looks so good in the trailer. The animation so far, like, scene-wise, looks really good. I'm so excited. Well, okay, no, I'm not excited.
What I'm most excited about
What?
No, what I'm most excited about, the only thing that I am excited about Shibuya is that it looks from the trailer like they might be finally doing my man Choso some justice.
Justice for
in the face
Choso!
department.
Yo, he like goofy as fuck in season 1. Like, you guys, you have to see manga, like, depictions of him. Like, he looks way better in the manga. They got rid of his fucking Doc Martin stompers and put him in some ugly brown loafers.
They gave this man clown shoes.
Brown clown shoes. I was just like, damn.
Clown shoes.
Now it's justice for Choso's shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, he looks really good. I'm excited to get more Choso, but Shibuya. Girl, okay. Where are my notes? Okay. So Shibuya, right? We're going to get, that starts Thursday, the 31st. You know what also starts the 31st? One Piece live action. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be emo as fuck. Watching the first episode of Shibuya Incident, and I'm gonna be like, man, this fucking sucks. The episode's gonna be great, but emotionally, it's gonna suck.
Anyway, One Piece.
And then I'm gonna watch One Piece to make myself hopefully feel better. So, double whammy. I'd be like, Dad, we're watching Shibuya. 2, we're watching the live action. Anyways.
Anime Dad's gonna watch One Piece.
The One Piece is real.
He seemed excited about it.
He did seem excited about it. So, the trailer looks really good. I watched a behind the scene thing. I was bringing up One Piece again. Anyways, One Piece! Okay, but...
dang it! Almost a whole episode without bringing up One Piece.
But that's my plan, okay? Anyway, I can't help it that they're both coming out on the same day. Anyways, there's 18 episodes of Shibuya. I believe they're gonna be able to make it happen, and what I mean is that, you know, the Shibuya Incident Arc in the manga, it starts at chapter 83, if anyone's like trying to read ahead or something. But it starts at chapter 83.
Is it 8?
8 what?
8 episodes or 18?
18.
Okay, I thought you said 8.
Oh, no. It's 18 episodes of Shibuya. That's what we're getting. In the manga, Shibuya Incident starts at chapter 83 and ends at chapter 136. That's a total of 53 chapters. That's going to be adapted into 18 episodes. Which I believe it could be done. Shibuya is very fast-paced. All of this happens in one night, mind you. It happens on Halloween night. And here's my plan. I'm low-key thinking about cosplaying Yuki at AWA, because AWA is literally Halloween weekend. You know how fucking cool it'd be to cosplay Jujutsu Kaisen characters during the Shibuya Incident Arc because it's Halloween? Anyways.
That would go hard.
It would go hard. Just so much shit happens in just one night, but also in the next 18 episodes. Like, you're going... Okay, you need to prepare to take notes. You need to prepare your brain. Take Adderall or something. I don't know. You need to open your mind. Okay, don't do that. Legally, don't do that.
This arc is not one where you can just put it on and not focus. You have to pay attention. There's a lot of moving parts.
That you're going to have way more questions than answers. So this is why I am very, very pro reading and watching Jujutsu Kaisen. Because you think you understand what's going on, but you don't. You really don't. You have no idea. You're gonna have to, like, watch it, sub or dub, whatever you prefer. You're gonna have to read it, and then you're gonna be like, I'm still low-key confused. So then you're gonna look up YouTube videos on people explaining it to you. You're gonna be on TikTok looking for people to explain shit to you, and you're still gonna be confused. because that's me. But I get the gist of like stuff.
I'm thinking about rewatching it in English.
Yeah, maybe I need to hear it in English
to like understand.
It's like a lot,
confused.
But we're not gonna get into like everything that is Shibuya. We're just gonna get into like, you know, things we're looking forward to seeing, things we're not looking forward to seeing, and then like we're gonna do a top 5 ranking of like events that happened that we're looking forward to see. Well, not looking forward to see. Just it finally happening, but ranked. I don't know how they're going to do this in the anime, but like in the manga, it kind of like jumps around places because a lot is happening at the same time with different people. You're location jumping, you're time jumping, you're, I don't know, everything. It's really confusing. So I guess we can get into the questions now. Okay, what fight are you both looking forward to seeing animated, Dana?
Oh my god, I'm so... Okay, so my fight that I'm looking forward to is Yuji versus Choso, right? So yes. Choso, if you'll remember, is the Cursed Womb death painting, the oldest brother. His brothers were killed by Yuji and Nobara in the first season. Mm-hmm. He uses the blood curse technique, which, number one, like any kind of blood curse technique, blood fighting technique, I've always found super interesting, and this goes all the way back to like Avatar, Katara, and bloodbending. That shit was freaky. Old. It was so... It's freaky and it's so cool. Anyway, so Choso at this point thinks that Yuji's the enemy. He's going in thinking, you killed my brothers, I'm about to kill you. And he does. He beats the dog shit out of Yuji, like, to the point where he's gonna die. And, like, Yuji's sitting there...
A slump.
Actually, let me back up. Because the fight itself is very good. We're getting, like, long range fighting, but also close hand-to-hand combat, while Yuji's getting the crap beat out of him. You know, he's getting the crap beat out of him, but he is still left right good night Yuji Itadori, okay? Man gets his hand chopped off with the blood, and then uppercuts Choso with his stump. Unreal. I love it. Anyway. So Choso's at the point where he finally does kind of beat Itadori. Itadori's sitting there on the ground, about to die. And Choso, as part of his blood painting, death painting, psychic powers or whatever the hell, has the ability to recognize when his brothers are about to die. And he sees Yuji in his, like, vision or whatever, and he's like, wait, new brother unlocked? Bet. And he just switches up completely, and he's like, oh my god, you're my little brother now too. And Yuji's like, what the fuck? And he's like, all right, but you're not gonna kill me, right? And Choso's like, nah, man, I'm not gonna kill you anymore. In fact, I'm gonna protect you for the rest of Shibuya Arc. And Yuji's like, cool.
Period.
I don't know you. Cool. He's literally like, I don't know you, like, kind of situation. But I'm super excited about this.
Honestly, I'm excited for every fight. I guess the fight that I'm most excited to see is Itadori versus Mahito, like, but the final fight scene.
Oh. Yes.
Because, you know, after Mahito, he releases, like, all his, you know, his domain expansion. He finally, like, unlocks that. He has, like, a final form that's crazy looking. And Itadori's, like, getting beat to a pulp. But, and then after the failed Toto clap combo thing, Yuji's kind of fighting him alone again. Unleashes, like, unlimited black flash uses. He's, like, the only sorcerer that's able... Black flash. That's what I said.
Backflash.
No, it's black.
No, back.
It's not backflash.
It is backflash.
No, it's gotta be black flash. Girl, I don't know.
Oh.
Correct me or not. It's kind of hard to say. I don't know if that's because, like, we're saying it's, like, in a...
Oh, it is Black Flash.
You gaslit me.
I did.
Gaslighter.
I thought it was Black Flash.
No. Anyways, it is kind of hard to say. Black Flash, he unlocks that unlimited use, and he,
which has never been done before, by the way.
No, he's, like, the only sorcerer that's able to do that right now. But what I'm most excited to see about this is Mahito realized that he's in a fucked situation, and in the manga, oh my god, it's so cool looking. He reverts back to his original form. He's, like, basically on the floor, like, kneeling in front of Yuji, like, in defeat, and he's scared. He's scared of Yuji, because Yuji's just standing over him menacingly. He's like, I'm going to kill you. And he's just, Mahito starts running away. And Yuji's just following him. Not even running after him. He's walking towards him. Because he's on a mission to kill him. And in the manga, it's like, it kind of switches the scene to, obviously it doesn't actually, like, switch location-wise. But in the manga, to show you, like, what's happening, it switches to, like, they're in a snowy, like, field or something. And Itadori turns, he's the fox. And Mahito is the little rabbit that's about to be killed. And oh my god, I'm so fucking excited to see this happen. And what I hate about it most is that Itadori doesn't actually get to kill him. Because, Brain Man absorbs him into a cursed orb. Like, it's so frustrating. Yeah. But it's going to be so cool to see that. That's what I'm excited about. Next question. Yeah. Which scene do you think's going to impact you the most once it's animated, Dana?
Not on me.
Yeah, I agree.
Not on me.
Nanami's death is honestly going to suck a lot to see. Not only because, you know, him actually dying, but just him talking to himself leading up to it. Because not only has this man been fighting since, like, the beginning of Shibuya, and, like, we saw in season 1 that he didn't really want to be a sorcerer because he saw how crazy it was. So he left and went to human society. And then human society, the work ethic there, he didn't like it at all either. So he went back to being a sorcerer. And now he's in this fucked up situation called Shibuya Incident. And he, after fighting Dagon, one of the curses, he gets burned by Jogo. So half of his body's burnt, and he's just wandering around Shibuya Station, and he's just killing curses that he comes upon. Unluckily, he comes upon Mahito. And Mahito, we know that if he whatever he touches, like, it gets obliterated. Well, right when he gets fucking touched by Mahito, Yuji walks in. Nanami looks at Yuji and goes, "You got it from here." What the fuck? Now my dogs are breaking.
It's so emo, dude. Like, because, okay, so at this point, we know why Nanami doesn't want to be a sorcerer, right? Because his best friend, Haibara, was murdered by a curse in a mission that was supposed to be easy, right? So strike number 1. And then after that, he kind of just spirals. Like, you see in Hidden Inventory how, like, hurt Nanami is by Haibara's death. And then, you know, fast forward to, like, season 1, training Yuji. And he likes Yuji. He does. And Yuji has, you know, 2 parental figures after his grandpa passes away. It's Gojo and it's Nanami. And at this point, Gojo has been sealed. And now Nanami's face gets, you know, gets obliterated.
It's literally all of him.
In front of Yuji.
In the manga, it's so graphic, too. Because, like, you can see, you know, it's just, like, basically blood everywhere. And then it's just like part of his spine and rib cage is like kind of just still hanging there with the stop. Obviously manga 2D. It's the worst. It's literally the worst thing that we're going to see. And what else happens in the same fucking thing? No, bruh.
It all happens in front of Yuji.
No, bruh. Another thing that happens in front of Yuji. Mahito again, blowing her face off. I'm not excited. And you know what else?
Almost immediately after.
Like literally. And you know what else I'm not excited to really see? Megumi meet his dad.
Without going into too much detail about how Toji comes back, basically these sorcerers try to use him, like, possess some kind of, like, possession situation.
Kind of like
he's
Naruto.
Obviously way too strong. And, like Naruto's kind of situation. He is obviously too strong, and he absolutely obliterates whoever's personality was trying to, like, use him, and he comes back to life, kind of. But the condition for him staying embodied is that he has to keep killing people, and he finds Megumi eventually beats the shit out of him for some reason, and has a moment where he kind of breaks from the condition of killing everyone. He doesn't kill Megumi. He instead, gains some level of consciousness and is like, he recognizes that he's his son. And he's just like, what's your name? And Megumi's like, Fushiguro? And he's like, good. And then he kills himself so that he won't kill his son. He's like, I'm done. That's it.
Megumi still doesn't know that that's his dad.
Yep. Because Megumi, I don't think, even when he met Gojo, like, still he didn't remember what his dad looked like. So he wouldn't have known.
Yeah. Unfortunate. So, that's going to be emo. Is there
What's
still
the next question?
Yeah, is there still anything that confuses you about Shibuya, like what happens in Shibuya Arc? And do you think seeing it animated is going to help you unfold the situation better?
I hope that seeing it will help. The thing that I was really confused about before I started doing research for this episode was the relationship between Noritoshi Kamo and Kenjaku. I was confused because I was like, okay, are they the same person? Is Kenjaku a cursed spirit? Like, who did he possess Noritoshi Kamo? And Noritoshi Kamo, if you remember, or if you don't know, is a sorcerer from 150 years ago. He was known as the most evil sorcerer to ever exist because not only was he diabolical, but he was using cursed spirits to experiment on people. And because of him, and Kenjaku, that's the reason why the cursed womb death paintings exist. So Choso and his brothers and Itadori, turns out. So that's what I was confused about, like, but, is a part of Noritoshi Kamo actually still alive because of Kenjaku jumping from body to body, kind of like a little bit like Tengen, but not necessarily the same? Does he have a pact with Kenjaku? Like, is he a curse? I don't know. I was confused. I read the wiki pages. I'm still kind of confused. So I hope that I get some clarity from the anime.
Yeah, I'm still confused about that too. Like, what entails with the death painting wombs. Obviously, I know that Choso and like his brothers came out of it. The Itadori situation, still don't really know, because like even in the manga still, I don't think we have an idea of Itadori's like family background. I know a lot of people like to like speculate that Itadori is related to Sukuna's bloodline somehow, because Sukuna used to be a person before he became like the king of curses. So they like to speculate that, and then something about like his grandpa, I guess. I don't know. And like even in the manga too later, something about his mom. link with Kenjaku. Not gonna really get into that, but I just had a eureka moment, but I can't talk about it because it's not Shibuya. Anyways, I'm still confused about that. And then honestly, any curse technique of anyone's, I hope that when they're fighting and they explain it, I'm just like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
And this isn't something that I'm confused. Oh, okay, I'm confused on why this is a thing, but I'm not confused on like I'm not confused about it. I'm just confused on why it's a thing. Mei and her little brother situation, that's weird as fuck. It's so weird. There's scenes that are gonna happen in Shibuya and people are just gonna be like, why? Why? I don't know. It's weird to me, at least.
It's weird.
You ready to rank our top 5 Shibuya events?
Yeah, I'll try and remember.
Okay. We're gonna go bottom up. At number 5, I got the Choso versus Yuji fight. Just because I just know that's gonna be cool. It's just gonna be cool. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. I guess my number 5 is gonna be Sukuna's of Shibuya.
That's number 5.
Yeah, it's number 5 because I mean it is my favorite manga panel of the entire manga so far. I think that it's really cool, but it's just one moment, right? And like the aftermath part of the destruction of Shibuya, I'm not looking forward to that. Okay? I'm looking forward to that one panel where he's like, and that's it. So that's number 5.
At number 4, I got Gojo getting sealed, but / Kenjaku reveal.
Ooh.
Because in this part, the prison realm drops and Geto walks in and he's like, hey, and Gojo's like shook as fuck because he's like, I thought I killed you. What are you doing here? And then he's like, here's my plan. Or not like his plan, but he's just like, kadoink, opens his brain, or opens his skull, brain's got teeth. He's like, I'm Kenjaku. That's definitely really not how it kind of went down, but that's basically the gist of it. And I'm ready to freak out. And I'm ready for people to notice. Because I'm just like, how do people not notice that, on his forehead he didn't have stitches? And now he has stitches. And I'm not talking about people in the anime. I'm talking about people that watch it. Or read it.
Oh, right.
But yeah, that's number 4. Yeah. Dang, geez, man.
I think my number 4 is gonna be Yuji versus Choso, and Choso realizing that Yuji is his brother. Somehow.
I feel like this is on an emo scale. So emo to super emo. Or at least that's how I ranked it.
Well, and it's also Choso realizing that Yuji is his brother has something to do with I think that occurs after the Kenjaku reveal. So it's beginning to click more how Kenjaku and Norito Kamo and Yuji's bloodline are all related. And that to me is one of the more interesting aspects of the entire manga, is that whole storyline. So that's my number 4.
I think it's just funny too that when Choso beat Yuji, and then Sukuna is like, you lost to someone as incompetent as this dude. When he watched this, dang, that's kind of rough. But number 3, I got Megumi versus his daddy. It's just gonna be sad. It's sad because we know, background stuff. And we know that that's his dad. But it's just sad to see that Megumi doesn't know. But also, it's just gonna be, kind of crazy just to see Toji beating the fuck out of Megumi. And then Megumi trying to run away.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
right.
my number 3.
My number... What are we on? Number 3?
Mm-hmm.
My number 3 is Megumi unlocking the 8-handled sword Divergent Sila Divine General Maharaga.
Because that's, like, kind of crazy important, like, in the manga right now. So, like, connection stuff, crazy.
Yeah, that's my number 3. It's gonna be sick.
And it's so emo too, because he's just like, I guess I'll be the first one out of our group gone, because the condition for using this is that, or this Shikigami is that I will die. What?
Is that, does that happen before or after Nobara? Because he doesn't know about Nobara.
I believe that happens before Nobara.
That would hurt.
Yeah.
That would hurt.
So, number 2. I got Mahito versus Yuji, part 2, which is the final fight. Specifically, the running away scene. If it's not as good as I think it's going to be, I honestly will be really sad.
No, I think it'll be good.
It needs to be amazing. It needs to be show-stopping, spectacular, amazing, fantastic. Yeah. Because to me it is.
I'm really torn. I think number 2 for me is going to be Nobara versus Mahito. Yeah, well, her whole fight with Mahito, or with the clone anyway, she's like, where the hell do you think you're going? And she chases him down too. So, I love that.
That's gonna be crazy because I'm excited to see more Nobara, like, fight scenes. Because at the end of season 1, her fighting with Itadori against the Curse brothers,
cool.
That was so cool. My number 1, come on, it's Sukuna destroying Shibuya. 1, it's kind of crazy because he did that. 2, he did that to save Megumi, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Especially with, like, things that are happening right now in the manga. Because he says to Megumi, where he's just like, I can't have you dying yet. I still need you to do something for me. That's crazy to me. I was just like, wow. Connections.
Yeah. Well, and
story.
he's been interested in him from the beginning.
Exactly.
Like,
but the thing that makes this the most emo-ist of emo of Shibuya to me is that he, not only does Sukuna, because at this point he has been fed a lot of fingers. He's like been fed like 10 fingers this night or something like this.
15.
So he's like, he's at a count of 15 out of 20 right now in the story. It's the fact that Sukuna had enough power to stay in that form, his form, and not let Itadori out. But he was just like, you know what? I want Itadori to look at this. So he lets Itadori take back control, and then he sees what he believes that, like, he did. Because he has the whole thing where he's just like, this is my fault. I'm the one that did this to everyone. Because not only did this destroy Shibuya, it destroyed everyone that was inside this radius. And so Itadori's having a thing where he's just like on the ground crying, where he's like, just die already, just die. Like, I need to die. Because I did this. And I'm just so not ready to hear him say that. I'm not ready to hear how he sounds saying that. I'm not ready to see Itadori, my little boy, my boy. I'm not ready to see those tears.
My boy.
And I'm not ready to see the life, like, escape his eyes. Because this is also before, I believe, the Nanami and Nobara death. Because he just loses the life in his eyes and he gets up and he just walks back to Shibuya Station because he's like, I have shit to do. So, that's...
I think my number 1 is the Kenjaku reveal because I cannot wait for everybody to be so confused because when I first read it, I was like, wait, what? I was like, because when I first read it, I wasn't like picking up on everything, right? So I was like, brain, talking brain, alien. Are we doing aliens now? Because you remember, like, Do you remember how in like you get to that point in Naruto when it's like aliens and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Aliens? So I thought that we were getting to the aliens part, and I was like, this hasn't been around near long enough to be at the point of aliens. So anyway, but like I said, I'm very invested in the Enjaku Noritoshi Kamo line storyline. And also emo as fuck because Gojo hasn't seen Geto's body yet until like.
And then he's like, my 6 eyes tell me otherwise. Like, my soul, or whatever. He's like,
no,
what does he say?
No. He says, my eyes say that you're Suguru, but my soul knows you're not. So who are you? Like, tell me, who are you? and it's like, you're just gonna let yourself get used like that, Suguru? Like, he's talking, I don't know if he, like, whatever remnant of Suguru's soul he thinks is still around or what. But you can see in the manga panels that, like, Geto's own body is, like, trying to, like, go his throat and try to restrain the rest of the body from approaching Gojo, and it hurts so good. It's like, y'all know that's my bread and butter, okay?
It's the worst.
Number one.
Oh,
it's the worst, but it's also the best.
It's the best. Honorable mentions. I'm excited to see Itadori fight that grasshopper curse, because that grasshopper's like, I don't know. It's just like funny. It's just like random. It's like one of the first fights that Itadori has in Shibuya. The grasshopper's like, "Are you smart?" And then something like Itadori's like, "I am smart," or whatnot. And then the grasshopper's like, "Oh." It's just like funny
and it's like
banter.
None of them are smart. Like,
yeah, none of them.
Like, they're both stupid.
Left, right, good night. Like that's Itadori. Like, and then any Nanami scene, because I freaking love Nanami. He looks really good in the trailer.
Yeah.
I just know it's gonna be good. And I don't know if there's something.
My honorable mention is Mekamaru and his whole line, like his whole involvement. Yeah.
Oh,
and you'll see what
I will have to say, if you're trying to see what we're talking about Mekamaru wise, that's like the chapter before Shibuya starts, so chapter 82. So I guess technically you need to start at chapter 82. But yeah. I think where this is going to end in the story, I think the last episode in the last scene is going to be Yuta meeting the Sorcerer Council people, the older people. And they're all like bitching about, old boomers. They're bitching about like Itadori, like it's his fault and he has Sukuna in him.
Fault.
He needs to die for his crimes at Shibuya. And then Yuta's like, I'm gonna kill Itadori Yuji. I think that's how it's gonna end. Because 1, I need to see Yuta. And 2, that would be crazy.
I don't remember what they called it. They called it something. On the wiki, they had called it, and I had never heard it like this before. They called it Itadori's Extermination Arc. And, yeah, so I think I agree. End of the season is going to be the return of Yuta and the beginning of Itadori's Extermination Arc. It pains me because I really love Yuji. Like, he's my son. But I also really love Yuta. Like, Yuta might be the character that I relate to the most. Like, him and Choso are the ones that I identify with. So, to watch both of them try to kill my son?
My son.
My boy. It hurts. It hurts. But I'm glad. I'm going to be glad to have Yuta back.
Yeah. And the thing is that, you know, this whole Shibuya thing is going to be horrible to witness, but after that, it still is really going downhill in the manga.
Yep. Fast.
Nothing's good.
It's a steep
Gay,
decline.
when I catch you, Ricky. When I catch you, Ricky.
When I catch you, Ricky.
When I catch you, Ricky. That's so. Why would you do this to us?
Yeah.
Literally a sigh.
I love Jujutsu Kaisen.
I love this show, but the mental, emotional strain that I get from this series is not okay. I haven't cried yet over Jujutsu Kaisen, though, so I'm wondering if who wants to make a bet if I'm going to cry this season? Place your bets in the Discord. Because y'all know, I'd be crying over anything, so. But am I going to cry over... Am I going to cry over Jujutsu Kaisen? Maybe. But yeah, that's our thoughts. Tell us what you think. Answer these questions that we had. Because we'd love to see that. You can answer on our Instagram post for this episode. You can answer in the Discord. Or you can answer below in the comments on this video. Because we would love to see what you guys think about hidden inventory and the rest of what Shibuya is going to be.
I'm going to pose a question to the audience. If there was anything that you could change or modify about how hidden inventory was animated, what would it be? Let me know. Like, and we'll let Emily know, and she will tell me. Because I really like hearing people's opinions about it.
But yeah, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Are We Nerds Podcast. All lowercase, all put together. You can join our Discord. The join link is in the description below. And don't forget to give this video a like. And you should subscribe as well. Thank you for watching Shibuya Arc. August 31st. Get ready. Buckle in. Take notes. Prepare your tissues. Stay hydrated if you cry a lot. I don't know. And yeah. My boy. I hope you guys liked this episode, and we'll see y'all soon. Thank you, Dana, for being on. Much love to everyone that's watching.
Thank you for having me.
Jujutsu Kaisen. Woo!